Hi, thank you for coming to see our video. I'm Ori. I'm a second career mentor and a coach. Today I'm going to bring to you the Wheel of Life, really one of my favorite tools. You know, when life gets out of balance, you want to get your mind around what is really important for you, what's priority for you, and get some actions to get there. I really hope you're going to like it and get some good value out of it. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe, give us some thumbs up, give us a little comment, and without further ado, here is the video. So the Wheel of Life, what's the story with the Wheel of Life? The Wheel of Life is about balance. So if you're a refugee, you have to put all the important things for you in your cart. You really have to know immediately what is important for you, and that's what we're going to try to put in advance today. So if you have all your health and you're not stopping on that, and you're not in an emergency and saving only your life, you have to put all the elements that you need to balance your life. And whether you have very little or a lot of things that you need in your cart, you still have to know what's your priority and what you want to pack up there. And when you'll figure that out and do that right, you're going to get the support of people behind you. You're going to get the support of your family. You're going to get the support of your friends. You're going to get the support of this community. And then you will be able to really move along and create change for all your family. So what is happening, we called it in coaching this systemic effect. When one start to change, everything around them start to change. Their children, their parents, their colleagues, everything start to change with you, and everything start to evolve with you. And when you turn this wheel, you really start to create the fabric of your life, the cloth of your life, which you want to tailor your life from. Another thing that you have to notice is this time thing that happens when you turn on your wheel. And in turning the wheel of life, you really have to put. We kind of celebrate that with changing year. It's the new year. It's Christmas. But if you don't put time on your assignments and you don't say like, I want that in a month, in 3 months, in 4 months. Shit not going to happen for you. You're going to wait and wait and wait and wait, and it's not going to happen. So whatever you have in your cart, you have to have on the wheel of the car these time measures that remind like I'm moving on. I'm moving on with time. So if you are just having a small bicycle, or if you're having an amazing sport car like one of us. You see how I didn't call off the one of us? You really have to watch out that time is playing for you. And then you have to hold the wheel. You have to hold the steering wheel and really navigate. And when you know where your steering wheel is and you decided that I'm not going to just let it happen, I'm going to navigate and I'm going to bring it on, then you really can bring your boat and everyone on it to shore, or to sunrise or to sunset or wherever you want. And what we're going to do about that today is we're really going to try to create a vision. So we hold the wheel, we put times on it, and we create a vision, and we're trying to look forward to where are we going and what are we going to do with our year so it doesn't happen to us. Because change will happen to us. Next year will come and it have changed for us. I promise you, change is coming. Now, do you want to choose what you do with it, or it's just going to happen to you? And that's a bummer because you don't control it anymore. So far, so good. Does it make sense for you guys? Is that bring something to you, something you want to share, something that vibrates, something that comes up for you?
Absolutely, Ori. Sorry, my camera is off because the connection is so unstable.
Not a problem, Dina.
I'm in the background. I really resonated with the not the life and the change not happening to us, but that we are the drivers of it, and we are, pulling the strings and choosing whatever that is. It's really the story of this year, and the story of my change is exactly that. I really think I'm choosing for the first time in my life.
Awesome. That's a huge realization. That's a huge realization. And when you choose and you assume that and you go all the way with that, you'll feel the changes. And I can relate to that because those of you that know me for a long time know that I put counseling and coaching and all that jazz on my business about 5 years ago. And it took me 5 years to come so powerful and start this jazz. So I'm with you guys. It's take time sometimes to realize where you want to go and have your focus. And once you do that, look at the power. Anyone else want to share before I start with the wheel? I didn't start yet, okay? So here we go. I'm back to this wheel. And when you look at this wheel, this wheel have 10 spikes. Donc 10 spikes. And when I'm talking, we don't see the wheel with the 10
We
spikes?
don't see anything.
No wheel.
This is not good. This is not good. Thank you for letting me know. Please look at the wheel with the 10 spikes. Thank you so much. This is the wheel. You see it now. The wheel have 10 spikes. So really, it doesn't have to be a wheel of 10 spikes. And I'm going to talk about it very quickly. I chose for you a model wheel with 10 spikes. You can have 11 or 12 or 8 or whatever you want. The important thing is that there are different spikes that hold your wheel in place. They are not definitely in the same importance, in the same power, but they're in balance. It's like in your bicycle wheel, if you ever tune in a bicycle wheel. Some of them are more tense, some of them are less tense, but they have to be in balance. You're the one that decide what is important, which one you have to put pressure on, but they have to be in balance. This is the model of the wheel that we're going to work with today, and I invite you to take a moment, and if you have a paper and pencil, this is the time. And if you need a minute to bring paper and pencil, just let me know, because I want you to participate in that, and I want you to work on your future and look at that. So I encourage you to really do the exercise, because that's the only way to get advantage of the exercise. And I'm going to take some time to present this wheel. So this will have 10 categories, which I'm going to dive into. And it have 10 levels in each category. Okay, I don't know if I can, maybe I can put my mouse in it. Do you see my mouth? You do with your head, but I don't see all your faces. Okay, so I have 10 levels in the 8 or 10 categories. Okay. Each category, we're going to talk what you are putting into it. So what I'm putting into it is not important. It's important what you are putting into it. And maybe you want to add one, or you want to let go one. That's okay too, because it's the sense that you're putting into your spikes, into your wheel. It's your life. Okay. Some of you might be more comfortable to sign it like that, and that's okay too. It's still the wheel of life, but it's a different way to present it. Okay, so if you're more comfortable to work like that, that's okay too. That's not a problem. Okay. Let me present a little bit what I put in my wheel of life, because that might inspire you, but then please feel comfortable to put your wheel of life the way you want it, okay? So here is my little table. And when I talk at finance and security, I can put everything I want in it as far as security. So either it's your salary or the money that you earning, or your housing, or thinking about retirement if you're close enough to it, or preparing an investment, or it's something that have to do with your family and kid or something like that. And some of you will see that actually a retirement and salary or investment are two separate things for them. And they really want to cut this section into two and separate those two elements. And that's fine. That's fine. Just divide it in two if you want to. In environment, of course, don't forget, if you have questions, just speak up, because your questions are the most important thing ever here. And I assure you, if you have a question, someone else have it too. It's always like that. And if they don't know they have it too, that's even worse, because they have the question they don't realize. So please ask your questions. I beg you to. In the environment, I'm really looking at the environment and how it's like be around you. If your life is organized or messy, if it can be in your home, in your post at work, in your car, in your basement that you didn't organize for years, but every time you go there to do laundry, it freaks you out. So it's really like your environment, your immediate environment. Is it comfortable for you? Do you need a change? Maybe it's time to paint the house. So different level of environment. Some of us really took care of the environment before our camera, but behind the camera, that's a mess and they cannot deal with it. Some of us are like, it's more or less organized. Everyone is different. And once again, I can divide it like the environment at my home and the environment at my work, two categories. I want to divide that. That's okay. I hope we start to see how I'm looking at that. And the important thing is not what I put inside, but how I look at that. So once again, in fun, I put everything that I think it's fun. I put yoga in fun. Some of you will put it in health and in sport. I put it in fun and recreation, because for me, yoga is fun and sport is jogging. So that's belong to me. In health and well-being, I put my sport, I put my food, I put my meditation, but for some of you, meditation will be in spirituality later on in the pink. So again, it's depend on you. Friends, in another very important category is, so you can divide it. Do you need your old friends, your new friends, meeting new friends? Where are you standing about that? Maybe I'm going to stop and go back a second, because maybe I was not clear about something. I think I went a little bit too fast because I'm excited, so I'm going too fast. When I'm looking in this, I'm going to ask myself what is really important for me. Okay, so I'm looking at this table and I say, what is really important for me? So for me, for example, finance and security is important or not important. So I'm going to put maybe 10 on it, or maybe 8 on it, or maybe it's not important and I'm going to put 5 on it, and again and again. So this is how I start to think about it, is what is really important for me. And I'm going to keep going through this table, and then I'm going to work you through the wheel of life, your wheel of life, to fill it in right now. But this is the state of mind that I'm keeping. I keep looking at the spikes, and when I talk about family, some of you will say like, hey, who is actually the family? Because I have the family, I have my family that I created with my kids, with Sabine. I have the family with my parents, which is very important for me, but it's not the same. They don't live with me. I have my family, which is you, that support me, that come here every 2 weeks, that give me power every 2 weeks, beside of you that come here way more than that. And that's for me, my tribe, my family too. So each one of you can divide this and say what's important for them. I took a relationship, a life partner. So I live with a partner. Some of you will put dating there. Some of you will put the communication with their partner there. Some of you will put the projects that they have with their partner there. But maybe they'll put a project in another field. I don't know, that belongs to you. Personal growth and spirituality, well, for me, it's a big one. That's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing today. So there's so many things you can put behind it. If it's learning, if it's reading a book, if it's do some coaching or go to your shrink or doing workshop, or maybe your religion give it to you, some other practice. Career and work, that's another thing that is very important for me, because I work with people that are second career people, and so many of you are. Everyone that is a second career person in a certain time in their life say like, hell, whatever I'm doing now, I'm not satisfied by that. This is not working for me. I'm doing that only for the money. This is not who I am. So for me, my personal thing, I had a big change on that in the last 3 years, and again this year, because as most of you know, I have a construction company, an electricity company for the last 15 years, 60 now, and electricity is what I do, but coach is who I am. So when I decided that I'm going to stop doing electricity and start doing coaching, I really put sense into my life and change this rubric, because I say like, it's very important for me, but I don't own to that. It's not working for me. And then the last rubric I chose for you is the organization. And in the organization, we separate it from self-development, because it's very, very pragmatic. Are you capable to use your planning? Or are you feeling that you all the time out of time, that you don't have time for the most important things because you cannot organize it, because it's out of control? So you cancel the most important things of your calendar because you just don't get to give some time to your spouse or your kids or your parents or your projects or your self-development, or to you or to your hygiene or health or stuff like that. So I think that planning and methodology is very, very important, and it's something that's very, very easy to improve with very specific tools that we can easily give you. So, when, hold on, I'm going to invite you to, first of all, mark in a light color, because we're going to put a second color on it later, how important it is for you, each section. Okay, so everybody will do it for themselves. And Susan was kind enough to share with us the Wheel of Life that she did with me this week, last week. When was that?
Ori, do you need to give a different grade for each section, or can you grade more than one section?
Come again?
Do you need to give a different grade to each section, like getting them in getting your a specific priority for each one of them?
No, you can just say like security for me. Susan put it 10 out of 10. For Susan,
No,
finance and security is the most important. You can just make a line. You say that's for you 9. You mark the 9. You mark the 8. You don't have to change colors.
Sorry, once again, I didn't explain myself well. Can I give, for example, 10 for more than one section, for finance and for environment?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so
yes,
that's going to be a different grade for each section.
Exactly. Okay. So you're very intuitive, and you can put most of the time the first thing that comes to your mind. That's good for you. If you feel that's 10 for me, that's probably 10 for you. And the answer for you is yes, you can give 10s as many times you like. So you don't have to think about other things right now. Think about your finance and security. How much is that important for you? How much is that priority in your life? How much is that important for you? Finance and security. What you find behind finance and security. For Susan, security is very, very important. So she put 10. Environment, how much is it important for you? Okay. For Susan, it's a little less important than security, and she put only 8 on that. She liked it to be organized, but it's less central in her life. It's less of a need. She doesn't need it that much. It's less of a value for her. In fun and recreation, she needed even less. It's not that important for her to have fun. Okay?
That sounds really, really bad.
No, don't get me wrong. She's still 7 on fun. So that's a lot of fun. If my mother will be kind enough to share what she put in this section, I think she put lower. My parents are so sweet. They just close their camera and they close the microphone, and nobody knows how much they put on fun.
No, our camera is open.
I don't see your camera, guys. Maybe it's me.
We don't know why.
Now we can see them.
Oh, here you are, guys.
Our camera is open.
I'm sorry for that. I think I have difficulty to see everyone because I can see only so many people. Maybe that's the story. I can see only so many people. So another reason to participate, because once you talk, Microsoft bring your photo up front and you get more help and more support.
Okay, so now
we also see only few people.
Yeah, part of them, yes.
Exactly. So everyone see 9 or 10 people.
You can see us now. Can you?
And now we see you.
Okay.
So
we will pips from time to time.
Yeah, pick in from time to time. So how much fun is important for you, Mom?
5, 6.
5, 6. It's went up from yesterday. When we think about it, when most of the time in a certain age, you are less of a party person. Okay, my mother was 11 on having fun.
2.
That's right, even more.
Okay, let's get jiggy with it. Health. What do you put behind health? How much your health is important for you?
10.
How much your health is important for you? How much you want to take care of your health? Is that a big value for you? Is that a big area of concentration for you? Is that something you really need or not? How much your friends taking place in your life? How much that's a value for you? How much that's important for you? And that's a good occasion to show like everyone puts something different behind friends. Who is your friend? When I did that with Susan, say like, oh shit, you don't give a fuck for friends. How should I feel about that? And she tell me, hey, you're family. And family is very important for Susan. It's up into 10. So that's why I'm saying, like, old friends, new friends, maybe you want to divide your categories. Maybe you want to look at it. It's you're looking for your values and what's important for you and what do you need. Friends and family. Your relationship, your life partner, or the relationship you're in, how much is that important for you? How much you need that? How much a value for you? Your personal growth and spirituality, is that an important value for you? Do you need that? Where do you put your career? Is that something central for you? Do you need to achieve in your career? How do you define success in your career? Don't confuse it with money. We put money in security because success in career and what you do may be 8 hours a day. It's not only about money, you pass your day there.
Can be about fun as well.
It should be about fun as well. I definitely have fun here. And your organization. Okay, so the second thing we're going to do after we fill in this wheel of life and we saw how much every section is important for us and how much every section is representing an important value for us, a big need for us, we're going to take a look on real life, on what's going on in our life, and we're going to ask ourselves with this wheel, what's actually going on in our life. Okay, so questions till here or something you want to share? So just before I do that, I go back in the, I turn off the slide because I want to ask you a little bit about your values. And how many of you doesn't have a 10 at all? No 10 at all. Okay. Do you have a 9? No 9 at all. Do you have a 7? No 7 at all. 6?
No.
No 6 at all. Let me first of all, I want once again to celebrate your participation before I even say anything, because this is so brave to come up and show up and show us everything. Okay, this is really excellent. So I definitely think we have a winner here. I definitely
Thank you.
Susan, if you kind enough to put the Meet Me link in the link for a winner here. So I'm going to talk about that easy, but I invite you to, the link that Susan put here is to have a one-on-one meeting with me. Okay. And I would love to meet you for an hour and look at that specifically for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I'm grateful.
That will be a lot of fun and we'll get a lot of value for that, because something that happens if you don't have a lot of high grade is mean that you are not willing to give a importance to certain value. So you kind of hold yourself back. You don't go fully.
It's not that, but it's because of my experience. When I give things high value, I get my value from that thing. For example, I was giving finance in the past a very high value. And then I suddenly lost all my money and everything. And I sobbed a lot and cried a lot over that. And I felt that I was getting my value from my position, from my career, from my finances, from everything. And I started to change that, and I found out that the value is deep inside me. You don't get your value from anything. It's good to be balanced with everything, to have a 5 for everything, and to live your life in a very balanced way. Nothing is more, nothing is less.
So
it's not that I'm not putting my full power to something, but I'm not giving anything a bigger value than what it deserves. You can lose it between a day and another, so it's not worth it. But I believe that my highest value is just my health. Without my health, I just can go nowhere.
Okay, so did you give health how much?
Well, I gave it a 5, 6, and that's where I stopped. And then the rest are all equal.
Okay, so there are two things that I want to share with you and with everyone. I understand what you're sharing, and that's very individual, and everybody can do with their will whatever they please and they feel right for them. So there's definitely no judgment and no right way to do it. Very, very important for me to be very clear about that. But when you have a unique will, that means something is going on. So what's might going on is a question of value, or question of priority, or question of not taking a risk, because the higher we meet the higher you put your expectation, the more you risk to lose it all, as you say. And it's very interesting to see people that have a big will and a small will, and it's relative only to themselves, but it's an issue that you can see how much you're willing to invest yourself and to take risk. So if you have a particularly small will or particularly big will, it's something to look at. And if all your will, it's the same number, that means that it's difficult for you to see the difference between the different spikes, or between the different topics. So everything gets the same importance. So it's very difficult to prioritize what is important for you. So it's kind of not playing the game in the way that, like, I'm not putting priorities. I refuse to put priorities. I decide a priori that I will not put priorities on anything beside health. So this decision is kind of taken before I even feel the will. So I'm not playing the game. I'm not saying like, how much important for me is environment, fun, recreation. It's more like saying like, whatever department is going to bring me, I'm going to put 5 on all of them. So it's refusing playing the game. And refusing playing the game doesn't let you take the next step, which is find what is really important for you and what you want to invest yourself next year.
I just actually realized that everything leads to another thing. I mean, if you have good health, you can take care of your family. If you can take care of your family, I mean, this is how I started. And then I decided like to give them equal powers. So I started with my health, then with my family, and the environment, because having a healthy environment is staying healthy. And then I felt that everything is going to lead to another thing. And then this is going to lead to a personal growth. Personal growth will affect your career. Career will affect as well your finances and security. And it's all in a circle. It all fulfills the other.
I completely agree with you. Yeah. We call it the systematic effect. When you move one, the other moves as well. Mm-hmm. And when you improve in one section, you get more comfortable in other sections. And we'll see that later on, and we'll see that for other people as well. So this is I completely agree with you. There is an effect. But when you look at where you are, you see your values today and where you are today, that helps you put the prioritize where to start. Because you cannot do everything together. You have to know where you want to start for you in your life. And that's why it's important to say, like, it's all important, but I'm trying to put priorities, what is more important for me. And that's why, and that's what Mika asked, we don't want to compare between the things. We want to look one category by itself. So if you have 2 10s, it's okay, or 2 8 or 2 whatever. It's okay because we're trying to look in each value by itself. Okay. How many of you have 2 10s? 3 10s? 3 10s. Okay. Anyone
Yes.
4 10s?
Two tens.
2 10s. I have
10s?
3 10s.
3 10s. And Norman, you have 4 10s.
3.
Okay.
3 10s.
3 10s.
3 10s.
So 3 10s, 3 10s is it's not huge. It's not huge. I've seen 9. Okay, but same thing that happen when you have a lot of 10s or when everything is 5. It's the same thing. Okay, it's that you will have more difficulty to have prioritize, but you can have 2 3. That makes sense. Susan have 2, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. Okay. Another questions about it? Another reflections about it? Another thing you want to bring on about it?
I just wanted to say something about what Izzy was saying. I completely agree with your mindset and with what you said as well, Ori, how everything bounces off the other. So when you put in a priority of 1 or 2 spikes within the wheel, they always have that knock-on effect on other things. So for me, for example, my 3 is personal growth, career and work, finance and security. And I know when I focus on these, they can also have an effect on the other aspects of my wheel. So yeah.
Thank you. That's interesting. Thank you for this input. And definitely everything is intermingled and values are intermingled. And the interesting thing is to see that they're changing as well. They're changing over years, over age, and they can definitely change from one year in another. And I think Susan will show us later, but it's changed. It's really changed.
And Ori, if I can just pipe in a quick comment.
Please do.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to very much about the different way of saying what Izzy was referring to. It's this, I'm really seeing the values more like indication where I need to work on more balance rather than being very concerned about the how high the label or the grade is. So of course, we have no other way of measuring some things or being aware of what needs a bit more focus and working on. But for me, really the grade, you know, the how high I am and stuff, it's more the indication of getting into the balance rather than you know, fixate or yeah.
Thank you for
that,
Dina. The issue is
about
to ask how much it's important for you, not asking how much you need to work on it, on how much or where you are right now, or how much you need to work on it. How much is it important for you? How much do you need it?
Yeah. So that's why, you know,
so far.
Instead of saying of 10s or 9s, it's like, this area really needs attention because it's, in value, it's lower than others. So it's more the confirmation. There is nothing, you know, like confrontational. It's just a confirmation of where discussion is going.
That the area is important for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Indeed. Yeah. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Dina, for this participation. I bring you up to the next level, and what I want to add in the second layer on this wheel is where do you see yourself today? Today, in your present time, how much is it? So if I'm taking the wheel, the Susan's wheel, finance and security is very important for Susan, and she is almost up to it. She has a lot of financial and security. She feels secure. It doesn't mean she's rich. It means she feels secure. It's enough for her. We don't know by her finance and security how much she's earning. We know that she's happy with it. Okay, so my second layer is I evaluate my present time and how satisfied I am, how comfortable I am with where I am on this thing today.
Then we have a question from Anna.
Please do. Please do, go ahead, ask your question. We hear you, or we don't hear you. Your microphone is closed. Arna, the microphone is in the top right of your screen, and you have to open the microphone to speak. Or write your question in the chat. Do you have a question in the chat? Susan, do you see something that I don't see?
No, I'm afraid I can't enable her microphone, so...
No, you cannot force her to open her microphone.
No.
So Arna, we will love to hear your comment or your question, but you have to open at least your microphone or to write it on the chat, and you open your microphone on the top right corner and you access to the chat as well on the top right corner. So I don't know why. Sorry, Arna, I cannot take your question in. I'm gonna continue. If you figure it out or you know what's going on, please feel free to come in. Okay, Arna took her hand out. Maybe she got answer for her question, or maybe not. So that gave you some time to fill in your wheel. I'm sure you're almost done. So environment. How Susan is satisfied with her environment. Once again, it doesn't mean her house is messy. Let me tell you, her house is really not messy. But she put a high standard on it, so she wanted to be yet more. Time she didn't finish another layer of color, she won't be satisfied. So it's really about where you see yourself comfortable in your environment. It's very, very personal. I'm looking for my mouse. Fun and recreation. How much fun and recreation you have at the time? Susan doesn't have that much fun and recreation. That's probably because she did it last week and they close hall until the 15th and she's not allowed to leave the house. So she just gave her fun and recreation. You can feel the frustration in Susan fun and recreation. She's not having any fun here. Well, Susan, I hope that tonight you're going to get it at least till 2 after this social evening that we're having here. Where do you see your health? How healthy you feel? How much you take care of your health? How much you feel you have friends or how present they are in your life? How much your family is present in your life? Okay. So if you see that, Susan see her friends way less, but she definitely see a lot of family, her kids, her grandchild, her parents. She's all about it. Relationship and life partner. Okay, where are you on that? So Susan shared with us her wheel, and you can see she doesn't have a life partner. She doesn't have a life partner. She didn't fill it up at all at the moment. Personal growth, how much it's important for you, spirituality. Your career, your work, how much is important for you? And organization, how much important for you? So you can see that organization, it's Susan feels she's organized exactly as much as she needs to be. She nailed it in, she mastered it. It's exactly the same level. Okay. It can happen for you that the second one is higher than the first one. I've seen that before as well. Okay, so that's the Susan wheel. And you have your wheel. And I invite you to ask questions or share what you see. Anyone have anything that crossed their mind? So let me ask you some questions, because that's what I like to do. How many of you are satisfied in all their 10 rubrics, or how many rubrics they have? Everything is perfect. Sarah, everything is perfect? None of it is perfect? You can open your microphone so I'll understand you.
Oh no, they're high priorities, but today is not matching the numbers. Still a lot of work to do.
Okay, so how do you know there is a lot of work to do?
Like for my financial security, that's a high priority for me.
Yes.
For where I am today, I think I'm mostly in a 2 or a 3.
Okay. So, how much importance you put for that?
10.
Okay, so that's a 10 and you're in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
so there is a 7 distance. You have another 7 distance there?
No, not in the other 10s, no.
Okay. And what is your second place?
Personal development and personal growth and spirituality.
Okay.
That for me is a priority 10, and I think I'm in a 6.
Okay, so you want much more. And do you have other things that have four distance of 4?
A distance of 4.
4 or more?
Yeah, okay. I have a planning routine and methodology. I have a 6 of a difference. I have that as an 8 in a priority, but I feel that I'm not that organized. So I put a 2 for today. And dating and relationship and life partner, it's not a high priority. I put a 6, but it's a 0. And what else? Okay, career and work, I have over 6 because I have career and work is also a high priority for me, which is related to financial and development. I have 10, but I feel like I'm in a 4 now.
Okay, so first of all and before all, thank you, Sarah, for sharing and open up your needs and where you are. I would ask Susan to put the link, but the link is still on the bottom. Please take the link and schedule yourself another hour with me so we can crack out your personal story. This will, here it goes. Susan gave you the link, so please don't hesitate to take an hour.
Okay.
And we've been working before together, so you know what it can bring you. But what I want to show you guys is 2 things. First of all, that there is the level of frustration, which means that some of you will have a lot of 6s and 7s, so they prioritize all the 6s and 7s. And some of you don't have 6s and 7s at all, maybe, and the thing that they will work is on the 3s and the 4s or on the 2s. And it doesn't mean that those that have only 3 distance have less to work than people that have a lot of 6 distance. It's mean that someone that have a lot of 6 judge that the present situation gives them a lot of frustration. So they have a tendency to make the second circle smaller. Other people have a tendency to see their certain situation a little bit more comfortable. But it's not because you judge your certain situation is comfortable or less comfortable that you have less work, because it's not, there is nothing real about it. It's your judgment, is your feeling. Okay. Second thing that I want to show you, and you can probably see that in Susan's wheel. Let me bring it back, Susan's wheel. When I look at the wheel, do I have an example? Let's see, for example, the career work and the environment in this wheel, okay? Environment have a distance of 3. Career work have only distance of 2, but it's more important. So what is it more important for Susan to work on? So according to your opinion, will she work on her career because it's high, it's important for her, or will she work about an environment because there is more distance, there is more improvement that she needs? That's very, very subjective. There is no clear cut about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not only the distance that play, it's the distance and how much it's important for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see that a 2 times 8 or 3 times, excuse me, 2 times 9 or 3 times 8, maybe the 3 times 8 is more important than the 2 times 9. So probably, even though environment is less important for Susan, probably she will choose to work on her environment before she's going to work on her career, because the impact is actually bigger, because the distance times the important is bigger. And that's another way that you can look at that, is by multiplication of the first number times the distance. And you'll see that there are things that are very, very close and things that are easier to see. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not very easy to explain that over the internet, but I think in this good crowd, if someone does not understand, they will be brave to tell me about that. I count on you to be brave to tell me about that, so I can explain it again. And believe me, if you have a hard time to understand me, someone else.
Please explain it one more time for me.
So what I'm saying, Mark, is when in the example of this table, we can look at the example of your table as well. I chose 2 sections. I chose the section of career and work, which have distance of 2. Can you see my mouth when I move it?
Yeah.
Okay. So in career and work, I have the distance of 2, and it's important 9. Okay. Donc, so I'm saying 2 times 9, 18. Okay, so I have 18 factor here. Now I'm looking at environment. Environment is level 8. So it's less important for Susan, level 8, but it's have distance of 3. So there is more frustration according to what's going on right now at the moment. It's lower. And 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, so I have, and again, it's subjective. It's not because mathematically it's came out to be 24 bigger than 18 that Susan have to do what the mathematics tell her. It's very subjective. She will decide. I will not decide for her. But I bring your attention to the question that maybe distance of 3 on a lower thing can be more or less than distance of 2 on a higher thing. So we don't definitely choose to prioritize the big things or the small things or the high or the low. You have to really see the parallels between them.
Thank you, Ori. It's clear now.
Excellent. Susan, you had a question.
Well, actually, what I'd like to add is that in this specific scenario, that I, for example, could choose for fun and recreation because it's so low, but sometimes you can't choose even though there is a big gap because of external factors. So put your energy there where you can control it.
Thank you, Susan. That's a very good point, and we'll touch that later when we're going to do the SMART, that sometimes it's not realistic. So you can put your need of fun as much as you want, but if they don't let you get out of the house, maybe that's the wrong battle today. We'll try it again in the 15. So that's a very good point, that you have to choose your battles, and sometimes you really have to choose your battles. And that's interesting to see that here we have a 7 times 6. So that's, even though fun is not very important for you, it's kind of a lot of distance. Okay, so that's definitely something that need to be worked on, but nothing you can do about it at the moment besides coming here on Wednesdays. Very good choice, by the way, coming here on Wednesdays. Same question can be asked about things like relationship. That relationship can be, I have it or I don't. So it's like, you have it or you don't. So sometimes if you don't have a job, you can, and you find a job, you can pass very quickly from 0 to something, or relationship from 0 to something. But I know in all table, there is not even one here, which means Susan is not even looking for it at the moment. This is not her priority. She's not working on that. Okay, we have 5 times 5 here, it's 25, and still she's not working on that. She will prefer to work on this 24 before she's working on this 25. She will probably prefer to work on this 18 before she will work on this 25 at the moment, just because 5 is really low and it's not motivating her. 5 level. Okay, not the 5 distance, the 5 level of value or of need. See what I'm saying? Anyone have questions about their own table or their own, or anything else?
I have a question, Ori. Like,
please do.
For example, for me in the environment, you said this can happen. I found it only in environment and health, where where it is my priority is less than where I am today. For example, in environment, it's a 5. Okay, I'm comfortable, I'm good, and it's a 5. It needs work, but it's okay. But I'm feeling like it's in a 6. Where I am is a 6, so I'm pretty satisfied with it. My health, compared to the other things, I'm not prioritizing it. I'm putting a 6 for it because I think I'm pretty healthy. Okay. And today I'm feeling like I'm an 8, unlike, for example, on a day that I am sick or because I'm doing I'm eating good food. I am doing my fitness. I am doing my meditations, not often, but I am. So it's in an 8. I can feel that it's better. So how do you so these are not considered priorities for me, right?
So yeah, I think that's not priority for that. So that's the case which is relatively rare, that you got more than you bargained for. Okay, let's say money is really not important for you, security is not important for you, and you just won the lottery and you have money in the bank. So you put it on 4, 5, 6, I don't know, and you have shitload of money. So
yeah, I can deal with the other
cool.
areas.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you feel like health is not very important for you, but you are in good shape.
Yeah.
then you are young, because that's happened most of the time for young people. When we do that, for the younger they are, the more like that. They don't prioritize health. It's not very important for them, but they are in excellent health anyway. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to do anything, and they're still in very, very good health. So now we know how old you are, Sarah. Young and healthy.
Another area, although it is a high priority for me, which is my family, okay, but I put it as a 5, although today I feel it's an 8.
Okay, so it's very interesting that something that come out is that it can be really, if you will do that tomorrow, the table might change.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something dynamic. It's something dynamic. And most of us don't do that every day, but you can do that every few days and analyze the change and look at the change, and we'll try to do that with you a little bit. So that's very, very interesting. One thing that I want to show you here is, check this one out. This one is Susan today.
Share your screen, Ori.
Holy guacamole. Thank you, Susan, for saving me once again. Here I share my screen. Everybody see Susan today and Susan a year and a half ago. Okay, because that's not her first time to doing the Wheel of Life. Okay, so this is just show you how the Wheel of Life can change significantly from 1 year or 2, and in a year and a half. Okay, so first of all, I encourage you to do that every year or 2, because you really have to do that every year to get your objective out, to say what is important for you. And to be able to understand that a little better, maybe Susan want to say a word or 2 about what's going on here.
Yes.
And what you would like to share with us, Susan, because I put you back to the wall.
Well, actually, I think the Wheel of Life is dynamic, because you change, your environment changes, everything changes all the time. And when Ori and I met several years ago, we became friends, and I remember he used to talk to me, and I used to feel like, okay, now he's being the coach. Now he's got his coach cap on. And I really used to resist that. I sometimes got really upset with him. I said, I don't need a coach. I don't want you coaching me, because I felt I don't need a coach. I'm this really strong, independent woman who makes her own decisions and da-da-da-da. Anyway, then slowly he did, I started realizing that it's good to have somebody to talk to and to have somebody to learn from, and because you don't know it all and you can't do it all, and you do need people in your life that can help you. So I started open up a little, and then you did the Wheel of Life, and then I realized what was important for me and where I was in life, but actually more seeing what I thought was important for me at the time, and learning that maybe it wasn't that important, and that I had to change my priorities. And that's actually what happened in the last year and a half, is that because of the Wheel of Life, I started realizing I have to start working on more family. I was living far away from my family, so I didn't feel that they were very important, but they really were. And just, denying it because you're not confronted with it. And this made it very visual for me. Okay, this is what's going on in my life. So I started making changes. I moved back to be there with my family, things like that. And that is why the Wheel of Life changes. I was very much into, really, I had to find a life partner, or, go out on dates, and desperately trying to find somebody in my life, and realizing that it's not the most important thing. Family is way more important. So that's what happens. to me, and that's how Ori, my dear friend, but also a mentor and coach, has helped me to make certain decisions and to work on certain things that are important. And I'm sure if I do the Wheel of Life next year with him, it'll be a little bit different again. Your microphone is off.
Thank you for sharing that, and that's very I think that's very interesting, and I know that we spend easily an hour to analyze this difference and where is it going while we do that, and we can talk about it for hours. So that's something that I really invite you to do regularly and develop and work on, because that's very personal. So you got one aspect of it, of how the family that seems to be all is fine and not that important got back to it's important, and Susan is moving close to her family and get it done because it's so important. So she really moved the house last year once again, and a relationship, she realized it's less important, and while she bring it down, she stopped looking for it. So this little thing disappeared, but it's not an issue anymore. And so many other aspects that we can talk about, but because we're concerned about time, and we'll keep it close. So one last thing that I want to do in this section is just leave you with this, because we're not going to do that with you, but you have to think about it. Now, when you calculate and you see what is important for you and where you are, and the distance between where you are today and where it's important, is what you're going to do about it. And that's what it's so important. So we'll try to come back here soon enough to check that you really did that, and you have a plan. But it's important that your plan is a good plan. So for the plan to be a good plan, it has to be a smart plan. Smart plan. And smart is specific. What specifically you're going to do about it? Measurable. How do you know that you succeed? How can you count that? How do you know that you succeed? A, acceptable, or I prefer attractive. It has to be interesting enough for you. I prefer attractive. Something that you accept, that you are willing, and it's attractive enough for you. Because if it's not attractive enough for you, you won't be motivated to do that. So you have to play big enough. You have to have something to lose. Realistic is that you can do that. So Susan gave this example before, that she cannot have fun now because they just close her in the house. And timely, it's probably the most important thing from all the smart, is when you're going to do it. By when you want it. When are you going to do it? Okay. This evening was possible because we put a date. And we had to get that done by this date, because on this date we're coming. We just publish it. It's done. So publish your date with your accountability partners, and you go there to your accountability partners, and that can be your coach or your best friend or whoever you want, and tell them like, okay, I decide to do that, and I decide to do that by what time. Okay. So that's the smart model, and I can easily work on that for an hour. When I do workshops, I can easily do smart in 1 hour, but just be aware that it exists, and try to find the things measurable and in the time, and specific. What are you going to do about it? When you're going to do it? How are you going to know that you succeeded to do what you plan to do? How will you evaluate? How will you measure it? Is that possible? Is that realistic? or there is an exterior constraint that will not let you do that. Is that attractive enough for you? Are you excited about it? That sounds like, yeah, I want to get that. That will be fun, that will be good. If I don't do that, what I lose? And if I do that, what I gain? So if I don't do that, I lose a lot. And if I do that, yeah, that will be awesome. That's when it's attractive. That's when you accept it. And here you go about that. Questions so far? Okay, I hope that's useful for you, and you got some good focus on what you have to concentrate about and what you want to improve in your life and change in your life. When I say improve in your life, it doesn't mean your life sucks. It means that it can be better. It can improve. You can get a better life. You can get a better version of yourself if you are concentrate and do little step, one step at a time. And it's all about getting new habits. So what little habits you can get into your life to improve them? Get yourself little habits. And when you do these habits again and again and again, you start to see the way. Okay. Excellent. Any questions, any remarks, any reflections, anything whatsoever? And thank you so much for participating. Please stay tuned in because Mike prepared for us stuff that we will not have time to do today. We're definitely going to get another event that will work a little bit of more like what are we going to do about it and is it smart? And Mark will show us the board that he's doing and what he's planning to do in his life about that, because he did the Wheel of Life and he planned what he's going to do about that and the 5 C's. So we definitely have material for another meeting.
But as always, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And I've always been wanting to do the Wheel of Life. And finally, I got my chance. And I'm really excited to continue doing it. And I'll do another one by myself before I meet you on Monday.
Awesome, Sarah. Take your time to do that. Cool.
Yeah, this was a bit more of a rush. But now that I understood the concept, I will redo it. And maybe, you know, I will come with something that we can work with when we have the meeting.
Absolutely, and it's way easier for me when I see someone's Wheel of Life because I did that so many times with so many clients. So I see that very differently when I see it. So if you send me your Wheel of Life, I can definitely look at it. There is no problem about that, and get the best out of it. And there's something interesting about it. If you decided to change your priority and look at it differently, you can really do that. So it's something that evolves, but you can really make evolve.
Yeah, I think I will take another look at it and redo it. That's for sure.
Awesome.
This was just for the exercise to understand, but next time it will be more accurate. Thank you, Ori. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks a lot, Sarah, for sharing that with us. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end. If you'd like to share with me your Wheel of Life, I'll be so happy to take a look at it and give you some personal feedback. And I'll hope to see you very soon again. Bye-bye now.